want to start today by putting you in a very specific headspace. It's a scenario every single one of us knows. It's 5:30 p.m. You just got home from work. You're tired, maybe hungry. You pull into the driveway, walk to the mailbox, and you yank open that metal door. And it is absolutely stuffed.
Oh, I know that feeling. It's just a brick of paper.
Exactly. You grab that brick envelopes, glossy flyers, coupons, local ads.
Yeah.
Now, walk me through the next 30 seconds of your life. What exactly happens?
I can tell you exactly what happens. I don't even go inside the house yet.
Wow.
I walk straight to the recycling bin in the garage.
Right. You are standing over the blue bin. Maybe your car keys are still in your hand and you're doing the shuffle. Keep, toss, toss, keep, toss. It is brutal. It's fast. And if you're a business owner who paid, 60 cents to be in that stack, that moment is the stuff of nightmares.
It's the first sort. That's actually the technical term for it in the direct mail industry. And honestly, it's where most marketing goes to die.
That is exactly what we're digging into today. We have a fascinating set of source materials, specifically focused on the moving industry strategies from Lazar, the founder of MoverLead.com. But here's the thing. While this is technically about movers, the psychology here applies to anyone trying to get someone's attention. We're exploring what Lazar calls the kitchen counter strategy.
I really love that framing because the kitchen counter is the destination, right? That's the holy grail. If your piece of mail survives the garage recycling bin and physically makes it into the house onto the counter where the family is, making dinner, you've won. That is where the big life decisions, like hiring a mover or changing insurance, that's where they actually happen.
But getting there is a war of attrition. The source material puts a very scary number on this. When someone pulls a postcard out of the mailbox, how long does a business actually have?
10 to 15 seconds.
That's it.
And that's arguably generous. You have 10 to 15 seconds to arrest their attention before you hit the bottom of the blue bin. And that includes the time it takes to walk from the mailbox to the garage.
So our mission for this deep dive is to figure out how to hack those 15 seconds. We're going to look at the biology of the human eye, literally how we scan paper. We're going to look at some design rules that frankly sound kind of ugly but work, like the school bus rule.
Yeah.
And then we're going to get into the high-tech side with AI targeting.
And we have to start with the biology, because this is the biggest mistake smart people make. They think that when a homeowner picks up a postcard, they read it.
They don't read.
They don't read. They scan.
They scan.
It's a physiological, evolutionary scan. Lazar breaks this down in the notes, and it lines up with every eye-tracking study I've ever seen. The human eye has a default path it takes when it hits a new piece of visual data. It's not random.
Okay, so let's map this out. I'm holding the card. I'm standing over the trash can. Where do I look first?
Step 1, the center. Your eye lands dead center.
Yeah.
Step 2, it jumps to the top right corner. And then step 3, it sweeps to the left.
Center, top right, left.
That's the path.
Wait, hold on. So we don't start at the top left, like we're reading a book.
And that's the trap. We're trained to read top left to bottom right, but that is a conscious, learned activity. The first sort isn't conscious reading. It's threat detection. It's pattern recognition. Your brain is checking, is this dangerous? Is this food? Is this trash? It starts in the middle to get the gist of the object instantly.
So if you're designing a postcard and you put your logo in the top left and your phone number in the bottom right, you're fighting biology.
You're invisible. By the time the eye would naturally get to the bottom right, the hand has already tossed the card. The decision was made milliseconds ago. So the strategy has to start with that first landing zone, the center.
And this is where the source material gets, kind of funny, but also really counterintuitive. Lazar suggests using a visual trigger to stop the scan. And the best example given isn't a truck. It isn't a muscular guy lifting a sofa.
It's a dog.
A puppy.
A puppy.
Okay, play devil's advocate here. I run a serious moving company. I have insurance, I have a fleet of trucks, I have uniformed staff. Why am I putting a golden retriever on my marketing?
Because you aren't trying to sell the move yet. You're trying to buy time. You're trying to interrupt the junk, bill junk pattern. When the human brain sees a cute animal, specifically a dog, it releases a microdose of oxytocin. It creates a pause. It's a pattern interrupt.
So the puppy isn't the sales pitch. The puppy is the stop sign.
Exactly. If you put a picture of a moving truck, the brain says, advertisement, trash. If you put a picture of a puppy, the brain says, wow, wait, what is this? That wait just bought you 3 extra seconds. And in this game, 3 seconds is an eternity.
It effectively resets the clock.
It does. It moves the brain from sort mode to curiosity mode.
Okay, I'm sold on the puppy. So we have the dog in the center. I've paused. Now, According to the eye tracking map, my eye jumps to the top right.
This is the prime real estate. The top right is where the offer must live. And this is where Lazar and the team at MoverLead usually get into fistfights with brand managers.
Oh, I can imagine. You pay a graphic designer $5,000 to make a beautiful brand kit. You have your slate gray and your midnight blue and your sleek modern fonts. You want everything to match.
And that desire for matching will bankrupt you. This brings us to the school bus rule.
I flagged this in the notes because it's so simple, but I never thought about it. So break down the school bus rule for me.
Well, think about a school bus. Why is it that specific shade of yellow? It isn't because the Department of Transportation thinks yellow is fashionable. It's because that specific yellow wavelength attracts the human eye from a distance better than almost any other color. It cuts through visual noise.
Right.
Now think about a stop sign. Why is it red?
Because red screams warning. It signals urgency. It demands attention.
Correct. So here is the rule for that top right corner. I do not care if your moving company's brand colors are pastel green or beige. Your discount box, the thing that says $125 off, or senior citizen discount, that box must be yellow and red.
Even if it clashes, even if it looks ugly against my nice blue logo.
Especially if it clashes. You want the clash. You aren't trying to win an art award, you're trying to survive the garage bin. You need that school bus yellow to hook the peripheral vision and that stop sign red to create urgency.
It's purely functional design. It sounds like engineering, not art.
It is psychology applied to paper. If you hide your offer in a polite blue box because it matches your truck, you're blending in. Blending in is death. The yellow and red combination is the visual anchor that tells the homeowner, stop looking at the puppy, look here. There's value here.
Okay, so let's recap the physical card. We've got the puppy in the center to stop the scam. We've got the school bus yellow and red offer in the top right to hook them. Now they're actually looking at the card. They're engaged. This brings us to the copy, the actual words. And the source material is pretty harsh here about what most businesses do wrong.
It's the ego trap.
Yeah.
It's so common. You start a business, you're proud of it, you bought the trucks, you got the warehouse. So naturally, you want to tell everyone about you. We have been in business since 1985. We have a BBB rating of A+.
Yeah.
We have 20,000 square feet of climate-controlled storage.
And the homeowner cares about none of that.
Zero. In those first 10 seconds, they do not care about your history. They care about their back pain. They care about the stress of packing China. The source puts it perfectly. It's not about you. It's about them. The messaging has to shift entirely to the customer's perspective.
One of the key phrases mentioned in the MoverLead strategy was, we come to you for a same-day moving estimate.
Notice the difference there. It's not, our estimators are standing by. That sounds passive. It's, we come to you. It emphasizes convenience. It solves a problem immediately without the customer having to do any work.
And speaking of doing work, we have to talk about phone calls because the source material hits on something that I feel in my bones. It is 2024. If I have to make a phone call to get a price, I'm probably just going to close the tab.
It's the friction point of the decade. People hate calling. We have entire generations now, millennials, Gen Z, who view a phone call as an intrusion. It's socially expensive. If your postcard only lists a phone number, you are putting up a massive barrier. You're asking the customer to engage in a confrontation, essentially, just to get information.
So the tactic is call or text.
It seems so simple, but it changes the conversion rate dramatically. Call or text. By adding the option to text, you just lower the barrier to entry so much. A homeowner might not want to have a 10-minute verbal conversation with a salesperson while they're cooking dinner.
Right.
But they will absolutely shoot off a text asking, hey, do you have availability for next Saturday?
It feels safer. It's low commitment.
Exactly. And once they text you, you have the lead. You can engage on their terms. If you force them to call, they might just put the card down and Google someone else later. You have to meet them where they are. And where they are is on their phones, texting, not talking.
Okay, so we've built the perfect kitchen counter card. We've got the design, the colors, the copy, and the low-friction contact method. But, and here's where this gets really interesting, none of that matters if you send the card to the wrong house.
This is the other half of the equation. And honestly, this is where the technology has changed the game completely. You can have the Mona Lisa of postcards, but if you mail it to a house that isn't actually moving or has already moved, you're just burning cash.
The source material dives into the MoverLead solution here, which relies on AI. But before we get to the AI, explain the flaw in the old way. I always assumed movers just bought a list of new listings from the MLS and just mailed everyone.
That's exactly what most do. It's the spray and pray method. A house goes on the market, it hits the new listings database, and 5 different movers send a postcard. The problem is, a new listing doesn't mean a new move.
Right. It could be an investment property or a flip.
Or, very often, the house is already empty. Think about the real estate market. If the photos on Zillow show an empty house or a house that's been staged by a professional stager with that generic hotel art,
Hmm.
where are the homeowners?
They're gone. They already moved.
Exactly. They moved out 2 weeks ago to get the house ready for sale. If you send a postcard to that address, it's sitting in a mailbox at an empty house. No one is going to see it until maybe the realtor picks it up and throws it away.
That is a massive inefficiency. You're paying for printing, postage, and data for a lead that literally isn't there.
This is where the AI comes in. What Lazar and MoverLead have developed is essentially a digital detective. The system doesn't just scrape the address, it analyzes the property photos.
Wait, so the AI is actually looking at the pictures of the living room.
It scans the listing photos to determine the lived-in status of the home. It's looking for specific visual cues. Is there clutter? Are there family photos on the wall? Is the furniture arranged in a way that looks like people actually live there?
Or is it just empty rooms and virtual staging?
Exactly. It ruthlessly cuts them. It only targets furnished, move-ready homes. Because if the house is full of furniture, photos, and life, that means the people are still there. And more importantly, it means they still have to move all that stuff.
That implies a higher value job, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Think about it from a mover's perspective. An empty house is a missed opportunity. Maybe they just need a truck to move a few boxes. But a furnished house, that's a job that requires packing services. It requires heavy lifting. It might need temporary storage. It's a complex move. That's the sweet spot where the profit margins are.
The source mentioned a guy named Jalal from Vite Moving. He was talking about how much time this saves.
Yeah, that anecdote really stood out to me. Before this kind of tech, business owners like Jalal were basically playing detective manually. They'd sit there at 11 p.m. clicking through Zillow photos one by one. Okay, 123 Main St. looks empty. Skip. 125 Broad St. looks staged. Skip.
That sounds exhausting.
It's terrible. You're a business owner. You should be running your crew or closing deals, not acting as a manual data filter in the middle of the night. It burns you out.
So the done-for-you model that MoverLead offers essentially automates that entire detective process. You choose your territory, the AI scans the photos, filters out the duds, and only sends your school bus puppy postcards to the high-intent furnished homes.
It connects everything. You have the right target, the furnished home, receiving the right design, the kitchen counter card at the right time.
And that is how you get ROI. You know, people say print is dead all the time. I hear it constantly. Why mail anything? Just run Facebook ads.
Print is dead is a lazy statement. Bad print is dead. Untargeted print is dead. But if you combine behavioral psychology, the eye scanning, the colors, with AI-driven data filtering, direct mail is arguably more powerful than a digital ad.
Why do you say that? More powerful than digital. That's a bold claim in the age of TikTok.
Because of the physical nature of it. A digital ad vanishes with a scroll. You swipe up, it's gone forever. But if you make it to the kitchen counter, you persist. You are there when they wake up and drink coffee. You're there when they get home from work. You become part of their physical environment. That is a level of influence a Facebook ad just can't match.
That's a really strong point. It's about staying power. A Facebook ad creates an impression. A postcard on the counter creates a presence.
But you only get that staying power if you survive the first 15 seconds. You have to earn the right to stay on the counter.
So let's bring this all together for the listener. We've covered a lot of ground, from the trash can to the AI server banks. If I am a mover, or really any local business owner listening to this, what is the implementation path?
The path is pretty clear, but you have to be willing to kill your ego.
Step 1, design. Stop making cards that look like corporate brochures.
Correct. Use the school bus rule. Yellow and red for the offer, even if you hate it. Use a visual trigger like an animal in the center to stop the scan.
Step 2, copywriting. Make it about them. We come to you. And please, for the love of everything holy, add call or text.
Reduce the friction. If you make it easy, you win.
And step 3, targeting. Don't just spray mail at every for sale sign.
Use the technology available. Filter for furnished homes. Stop sending mail to empty houses. It's better to send 500 cards to the right people than 5,000 cards to empty buildings. You save money on postage, and you get better leads.
The source material actually mentioned a specific offer to help people get started with this.
Yes, because design and hard, MoverLead.com is offering a free premium postcard design. So if you're sitting there thinking, I don't know how to design a yellow and red offer box that looks good, they'll do it for you. They're trying to help implement these school bus strategies directly.
That's a great resource. It's MoverLead.com. You can get the design and see the AI demo.
It's worth checking out. It's rare to see a strategy that covers both the creative side, the psychology, and the hard data side so cohesively. Usually you get one or the other.
It really is. You know, we started this deep dive by imagining ourselves at the mailbox,
Yeah.
and I have to say, this conversation has completely ruined that experience for me now.
That's so.
Because tomorrow, when I walk out to get the mail, I'm going to be analyzing everything. I'm going to be looking for the yellow boxes. I'm going to be checking if I'm scanning center, right, left. I'm going to feel manipulated by puppies.
But you'll notice them. That's the point. You might feel manipulated, but you will see them. And if you're a business, being seen is the only thing that matters.
That is the truth.
I'll leave the listener with this thought. Next time you're doing your first sort, hovering over that recycling bin, just pause for a second. Watch your own hands. See what makes you stop.
Let's see.
Are you looking for a logo? Or are you looking for a bright color and a friendly face? Your own behavior is the best textbook you have.
I love that. Be your own case study. Thank you all for listening to this deep dive into the kitchen counter strategy. Go check out MoverLead.com if you want to see this in action. We'll catch you on the next one.